Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Casa Grande City Council study session. First item on the agenda tonight, actually the only item on the study session, is a review from ADOT, and they are here. And MAG, also MAG is represented, so thank you. Maricopa Area Governments, in case nobody knows what MAG stands for. Arizona Department of Transportation, in case you don't know what ADOT is.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilors. My name's Greg Byers. I am the Director of Multimodal Planning Division for ADOT. And with me tonight, we also have Carlos Lopez. He is the project manager for ADOT on the I-10 project. And we also have Quinn Castro, who is here as representing MAG, and she is the lead project manager for MAG. So this is a cooperative effort between ADOT, MAG, and the Gila River Indian communities. What we're talking about here, and we'll kind of go through the presentation, is, I forgot the clicker. So what we're talking about is the 26-mile stretch of I-10 that runs from the 202 down to the 387 interchange on I-10. This includes the first 6 miles, or the most northern 6 miles is within the MAG region. And then beyond that, it comes into the greater Arizona area where ADOT has responsibilities. The lower 20 miles is also, as well as that 6-mile stretch, are all within the Gila River Indian communities' tribal lands. So that's why they're an integral partner in trying to put this project together. What we're looking at also is the whole idea of what we're trying to do here is improve this 26-mile section. This is the last 20 miles of I-10 between Tucson and Phoenix. That's 2 lanes. So the whole idea here is to get 3 lanes, so it's contiguous all the way through from Tucson to Phoenix. As well as MAG has plans for improving the that most northern 6 miles to take and put that as an extension of the existing freeway system coming all the way down to Riggs Road. So that's basically what we're talking about as a project. So the deliverables for the project that we're putting together right now is we're working on what's called a DCR, which is a design concept report. That design concept report will present an alternative that we're looking at going forward with final design for the entire 26-mile stretch, with the exception of one portion being the Gila River Bridge on I-10. We've taken and broken that section out, and I'll kind of get into that here in a minute. So along with the design concept report, we also are preparing the NEPA document that's required for any federal funding to be utilized on this project. In this particular case, it's an environmental assessment report that we're putting together. So, and again, for any federal dollar to be spent on this project, we have to take and prepare that NEPA document. So we're starting that process, going through it. We have already held, and I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself, we have already held some public meetings. There were scoping meetings. We held them on the Gila River Indian communities properties, trying to invite them in to give us any information that they may have, any suggestions they may have on the project. Along with a kickoff meeting, which I have to admit was extremely well attended, including the mayor. So we really got some good input. We have some major buy-in on this project. We have not seen any resistance. Obviously, there's a lot of people that want this, including ADOT very badly. So this is a very positive project. One of the few that we put out that's actually seemed to be positive all the way around. So it's very good. So as we go forward in this project, we've already gone through the majority of all of our scoping process. We're now into the alternatives development process. So we're starting that. We've gotten some additional information coming from the Gila River Indian communities that we're also assessing as we go forward. as well as MAG has put forth a tremendous amount of effort and information that we're putting forward as well. So that scoping is not complete, but it's getting very well rounded out so that we can, to the point at least where we can start on those alternatives. As we go a little bit further along, once we develop that full scope and we start developing our alternatives, we can start developing a full footprint of the project so that NEPA document, our EA, can start really truly getting developed so that we can go forward with it. So that timeline's kind of laid out in front of you. What we're looking at is basically getting it all the way to a point where we can have public hearings in June of 2020. That's our target. Now, this is very conceptual, so don't hold us to it. But it's the best that we've got right now. As we go through and develop the alternatives, develop what we need as we go through and set that footprint, that's going to start kind of cementing in how long it's going to take to go through the process. So I wish I could tell you, this is exactly what we're doing. It is our goal, but I seriously doubt we're going to stick to this. So it's going to be just a cooperative effort between everybody in trying to put it together. Good thing is, everybody, like I said, is very positive. Everybody wants it. So we got the wheels rolling. We're not going to let them stop. So this is very good. So this is just kind of a map that lays out exactly where we're going from the 202 down to the interchange at 387, with the exception of that I-10 bridge project. So one of the reasons that we broke out the I-10 bridge at the Gila River is because that bridge is already, it's past its life cycle. It needs some major work. So this is a prime opportunity for us to get it done. It has to get done as part of our system improvements. We really didn't want to hold that bridge up with this project. So we broke it out so that we could have it as an independent project and go forward with the bridge itself. It's a safe bridge. There's nothing structurally wrong with the bridge, but it's showing its age, and we need to take and improve it. It's also the opportunity, as long as we're doing this, we fully intend to widen it out to 3 lanes in each direction. No matter what happens with I-10, the bridge itself will actually get widened out so that we've got a full width bridge for anything in the future. So it will have its own environmental document. In this case, it'll be a categorical exclusion so that it's also independent of the I-10 project itself. So that's why we broke those two out. As we go forward, so just kind of some additional project information here. This kind of gives you an idea of what we've got. We got a website set up. Here's the web page. There's also a phone number set up. We've got a mailbox set up for both email and U.S. mail. There's tons of ways that anybody who wants to can contact us, give us information, give us their comments. We elicit as much information as we can possibly get in going through this process. That's part of the NEPA process, but it's also just good business to be able to get all that done. So, additional project information. All right, let's see here. Next steps that we have. Now that the scoping is pretty much done, we'll have a scoping report that we're going to be putting out. We're also going to finalize the project's purpose and need as we go forward. That's required as part of our NEPA requirements. The alternatives development and evaluation will start proceeding as we get going. And then we'll have public information meetings to present the different alternatives that we put forth in the spring of 2020. So that's pretty much where we're at in a nutshell. And if you have any questions, we're here to answer them if you've got them. So thank you very much.
Mr. Bell?
Just a question as far as I know one of my good friends was the governor right after the interstate was done. And she told the coming governors after that, don't let them widen that road because they didn't do what they were supposed to initially. Was their feeling. And one of the things that people didn't realize is that's like a fence for them because they need more flyovers, a way to get from one side to the road to the other. And they want frontage roads very badly. Are frontage roads part of the equation on what we're looking at building?
So, Mr. Mayor, Councilman, what we're doing right now is we're scoping that out. So
Okay.
that's part of exactly what we're putting together. Like I said, the initial part of what we have to get done is those 3 lanes in each direction. So
Right.
that's what we're doing. There are some traffic interchange improvements that have to be done. They no longer are in compliance with current standards, so we will have to do that. But the big thing is trying to keep this project within the current easement that we have and trying not to get outside that easement. Now, to do some of these interchange improvements, we will probably need additional easement in there. But again, this is why we're trying to maintain a cooperative effort here with the Gila River Indian community to be able to do just that.
Do you know at this point, or have any idea though, if they do plan to have frontage roads?
The only frontage roads that I'm aware of at this point in time would be in that first 6-mile section, which would be the extension of the freeway system. And that configuration has not been finalized. That's kind of the next step as to where we're going. But that's the extent of any kind of frontage roads that's been discussed.
Now, coming up from Tucson, they've done a lot of frontage roads on I-10, which is really a good plan. And that's, I don't know if you have talked to them, but that's a really high priority because they hate for all that traffic when there's a wreck or something to come through Sackatone and you hear Jake brakes and it goes on for an hour or 2 hours. They hate it. And then, as I say, they didn't have any, without frontage roads, if my ranch or my farm is divided by the freeway, I've got to go over this way and drive on dirt roads up a ways and find a flyover and go over and come back to it. And if they could go up and down on frontage roads, I think they'd be very happy with that. It'd really help their transportation and really help keep people out of the city of Sackatone. So that, I know those were high. When I talked to several of them, those were the 2 things probably was flyovers and the frontage roads. And my understanding was, and you can sure correct me because I'm not, was that they owned every piece of whatever the pavement on is what is ours to use, but every piece of dirt in between or elsewise is still belongs to the tribe. Is that?
So, Mr. Mayor, Councilman, actually, the entire I-10 through the GRIC lies on GRIC property. There's nothing,
Yeah, right,
we don't
right.
own any of that.
Right.
We strictly have an easement. In fact, one of the issues that we have is we also don't have operational management within that section of I-10. So that is a little bit of an issue. As far as the frontage roads go, you're absolutely right. As an ultimate roadway, it would have frontage roads the entire length.
That'd be wonderful. I'd
Yeah,
make a lot of
but
friends.
at this point in time, that's not our priority. And so far, they have not, the GRIC have not indicated that it's their highest priority. Now, those crossovers you're talking about, we have had several discussions on those because it makes sense. I mean, they have a lot of farm equipment that needs to cross through there. A lot of those bridges are fairly narrow. It makes sense to start looking at some of those, which we are.
Well, the decision gets made in Sackatone, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Governor Lewis, basically, and I understand we're getting along really well with him.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
which is very important.
Mr. Mayor, Council, we actually do have a very good working relationship, and that can all be attributed to MAG because they have stepped up and they have really helped us out in this area, and their relationship with the GRIC is very good, and they've passed that along in helping us to further this project.
Yeah, and I wanted to thank MAG particularly because I know with Eric's help, he personally went to them and got this project moved up. We were on the 10-year plan, and because of Eric really, and working with the GRIC too, that we've got this moved up into the 5-year plan, which is a huge deal. It's a big deal, and so very much appreciated. Not lost on the city of Casa Grande for sure. And also, thank you to ADOT too for all that you guys are doing in getting this moving forward and helping us find money. And I wanted to also offer that if moving forward, we as electeds or myself in particular, I'll offer my assistance to talk to any of our DC contingents to try and twist arms to make sure we find as much money as possible to make this project happen as soon as possible. I'm willing to do that, so I'm offering you my services.
We greatly appreciate that.
Okay.
And we will probably call you on that
All right.
later.
Okay, well, I hope so. Did anybody else have any questions?
Well,
Lisa?
no, and thanks for coming. Of course, this is something that is brought up to us all the time. Every weekend, I don't know how often you drive that stretch of the road.
Every day.
Every day, you do. So there's a lot of our citizens that are injured and, unfortunately, there's a lot of fatalities on that road. So, so many people think it's in our jurisdiction, so we have to remind them. But I know the mayor has done a good job keeping us updated on what's been happening. So I just ask that in the future to try to keep, the community, the citizens, just updated, on what the status is. We might know because we get reports, but for people that don't, just I mean, they want it tomorrow, of course, but just the updates are really helpful, and I'm pleased. There's so many rumors out there that Gila River is holding this up, and there's so much that's going on out there. So I appreciate just the report and update, and we're excited. Can't come soon enough, but.
And Mr. Counselor, or Mr. Mayor, Counselor, we would love to do this on a regular basis as we go through. So as we get through some of these different milestones in the process, we can certainly come and do this same thing, because I think the better informed all the stakeholders are, the better off this is going to be, and the smoother it's going to go.
Yeah, well, the next milestone really is that the DCR, and which I was impressed that that they're actually going to have it done as soon as they're going to have it done. So that's pretty.
We hope.
That's pretty quick. Well, it's a guideline. I got it. Matt?
Kind of going along with that, thank you guys again, and as I expressed before the meeting, you have my blessing, go ahead and build it. I mean, it's probably all you need. But we, as a community, it's been one of our goals to get that done, and I'm glad you guys are all working together. All of us are working together to get this done, so thank you. And an important thing though about the communication, like Lisa said, is the hearings that you're going to have. Are you planning on having them in all the communities, like Casa, Grande, Coolidge, Maricopa, or in the Pinal County area too? I know it's probably early, or may I suggest that maybe we could have some in the outlying areas?
As we go through the NEPA process, the process defines where those public hearings occur. So that's kind of what we have to use to generate. That's part of the Title VI requirements that we have to go through. So that kind of generates where those occur. But being able to, if that is not sufficient, we can certainly be able to come back before this council and give either updates or whatever, and certainly make sure that you have the ability to make any comments on that.
That'd be great. And then my final question in jest is 3 lanes, and I mean, should we just do 4 while we're doing it?
Three lanes.
Okay. I was just trying to get ahead of the game,
We only have so much money, and right now we still.
Okay, well, we'll be happy with 3.
There's so much room.
Yep. Thank you guys very much.
Any other comments?
They've moved the construction up from around Toltec up to the Chandler area now, haven't they? Working on the freeways. Some of the crew that was down by Picacho have been transferred up to the Chandler area, and I don't know if, how much of that 4-lane is in Chandler's, the city of Chandler?
I would have to defer that to Quinn.
That's probably a Mag question.
Mayor, members of the council. So the projects that we're going on further south, so Eloy area, Picacho, those were two independent ADOT projects for widening. And when you say the crews have moved up to the larger section up in Chandler, what that actually is work that is ADOT work for the South Mountain Freeway where it connects into the I-10. So this project in particular and the 6 miles on the northern end.
About 6 miles.
Yeah, there's I would say less than a mile of that is within Chandler and Phoenix. So Chandler is on the west side and Phoenix would be on the east side. So they're also stakeholders in this study as well.
Very good.
Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you all for coming down and giving us an update. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to stand adjourned till 7 o'clock.
Tell you what, when they cut the ribbon on that, boy, it'll be a huge